Tennessee Titans had the first overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft, but how do they do with the rest of their selections? My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down the Titans 2025 NFL draft. Before we do that, Ryan's getting married here in a couple of weeks, so send him an early wedding present by hitting that subscribe button, tackling that bell, and leaving a like and a comment. Let us know what you think of the Titans draft. Ryan, let's pull up these
Let's
selections
do
here.
it.
So let's run through the order. So first overall in the entire 2025 NFL draft, quarterback out of Miami, Cam Ward. Then the Titans actually traded back and got Femi Oladejo, edge rusher out of UCLA. Then Kevin Winston Jr., safety from Penn State. Really like that pick. And then kickoff day 3, Chimere Dike from receiver from Florida. Then Gunnar Helm, tight end from Texas. Elic Ayomanor, receiver from Stanford. Back to back skill position players help out your first overall pick. Then Jackson Slater, Sacramento State offensive guard Marcus Harris, cornerback from California, and then Kalel Mullings, running back out of Michigan. And so uh, it's always it's going to be unfair, I think, for the Titans to come back. It's also going to be unfair to Cam Ward, I would say, as he's definitely the best quarterback in this class. But I do think it's maybe an uphill battle for him to be like an above average quarterback in the NFL. Like anybody can go and do it. But if you're looking at past number one overall quarterback picks, he's the weakest of them. That being said, though, I think he's going into a solid situation in Tennessee. They're definitely rebuilding. I think there's low pressure overall. They've really focused on their offensive line. This team has given them a lot of weapons as a whole. They've even signed on some key veterans as well this offseason. They got Tyler Lockett just signed with them, Van Jefferson as well. Calvin Ridley also too is still, I would say, is older. Yes, like a 1B type player. They've got a good running back room with Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard, and then they even got Khalil Mullings as well. So is he the quintessential first overall, like surefire quarterback pick? No, I think he's kind of put there because of the team situation. That being said, though, I think the Titans are setting him up for success, and I think he's been successful at everywhere he's been in his NFL career, and I think he's got a good shot to do it.
Yeah. Well, I just think you look at the tools overall and then the progression that he's made throughout his college career. So he never had a quarterbacks coach until he got to Washington State.
Exactly.
And so I think you look at the progression that he's made. He is a little bit of an like older prospect. I believe he's like in his like 23
He's
or something.
23 or 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so like I don't fully fault him just because I think you look at teams look at like a breakout
Oh no,
age
he's
of
only
when
22. He'll
okay.
be
Well,
23. He'll be 23 in a couple of weeks.
okay.
Around your wedding, actually. So subscribe. Send over a birthday present for Cam Ward and early
And
wedding day present
uh
for Ryan.
Well, so a lot of people look for like a breakout age for these players, specifically quarterbacks, and one of the things that I feel like goes like understated is just the level of coaching that they've had. And Cam Ward has not had the same level of coaching that a Shador Sanders has had, who's been in pro level camps since he was 10 and had that. So
Fair.
I think that is something that he could really still improve. He's still working on some of like the finer details of his game, and we really started to see him thrive in the pocket at Miami and still keep a lot of that playmaking capabilities, especially later in games at Miami. So I think that's a really solid pick there. Going to hopefully set this franchise up to have a quarterback with that high ceiling. I really like the Femi Oladejo pick. Kevin Winston Jr. I think is another really solid pick. He should have been a first rounder, but he tore his ACL a couple weeks into the college football season,
Yeah.
so he falls all the way down there. Chim Dike, I think that's a bit of a reach, but I also had a third round grade on Elic Ayomanor, so like they get him there at the back of the fourth, like kind of evens itself out. And then the rest of it, all in all, I thought was just a really good. Value draft. I thought they did a good job of taking players that filled needs where they were supposed to be taken or getting them below where they were supposed to be taken. And so I feel like that's going to lead to success, hopefully, for this Tennessee Titans team. And as a bigger picture, hopefully this offensive line is more improved. Tony Pollard had a really good season last year. So hopefully he can continue to create yards after contact, especially if that offensive lines improves and those yards come further down the field. All in all, I really like what the Titans are doing, and I think they have a chance to be pretty solid here in year one of the Cam Ward era.
It can't be worse than last year. I will say
Fair.
for them because obviously they were the worst team in the league record wise, and so I think it's on the up and up. I do think it was a very interesting kind of mix of like all of a sudden Mike Vrabel was fired, and then this new regime comes in and takes over, and so now they're playing like with Mike Vrabel's guys. So now this is like they're going to be coming in, starting to get their quarterback, starting to get their receivers in there, and I think they're setting him up for success overall. Now it just is he going to be the right guy? Are the skill position players that they got in day 3 and particularly in round 4, like are they the guys that can be those diamonds in the rough for them? I like Elic Ayomanor, as you said. Like I think a lot of guys had him going in day 2. He falls all the way down to the bottom of round 4 and day 3. Gunnar Helm, I think, is a good guy as well. A lot of good competition in that tight end room with Chig Okonkwo. How do you pronounce it? Okonkwo. There we go. Chig Okonkwo, Josh Wiley, and then now Gunnar Helm as well. I think a very interesting tight end room, which is going to produce a lot of great competition. They've improved on that offensive line. To your point about Femi Oladejo as well, they move on from Harold Landry, and then they go and try and find his replacement. So I think they're doing the right moves. Kevin Winston is a good value as a whole. I think it's going to be very interesting what Titans are able to do. Is this going to be maybe like a CJ Stroud, Houston Texans type year? Like potentially, maybe so. I feel like there was more firepower. Well, I don't want to say potential more firepower because to your point, Cam Ward had a lot of firepower moments in his college career, similar
Yeah.
to CJ Stroud. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Titans are still probably not on the outside looking in the playoffs. Part of that's unfair to them too because the AFC is, I think, just loaded. Like the AFC is still really good. You have a lot of just franchise Super Bowl caliber teams that are on their side of the conference.
The Titans are still, I don't want to say they're in rebuild mode because they're in the rebuild phases. But now they have the rookie quarterback. They've invested a lot in this offensive line, this defense. Hopefully, they got Jarius Sneed from the Chiefs last year. He didn't play as much because of injury. So like they're in the phase of the rebuild mode where they're really trying to find cornerstones of their franchise to build around and then push forward with to potentially make a playoff run. So I agree that they're, I think, on the outside looking in, but I think that this team could be hopefully like a Carolina Panthers where the last 6-8 games of the year, maybe they're not winning, maybe they're 500 through those games, but they're competitive. They're playing a lot of these top tier teams tough. And they're giving everybody a run for their money. And so let's do draft grades really quick. I'm gonna give this draft an A- to A to A. I feel like they did a really good job. The Cam Ward pick, maybe they didn't go best player available, but I think Cam Ward was a top 5-10 prospect in this class anyways. And then the fact he's a quarterback boosts them up into contention there. But I thought they got really good value on day 2. I'm not going to fault them too much for the Dike pick just because they got Elic Ayomanor much lower on day 3 than what I thought. And so I like this draft from them a lot. I think it was above average. They had made a lot of picks, a lot of good picks as well.
Yeah, I would give it an A. I also think too they also added on picks as well. They came into the draft with not that many picks, even though they had the first overall pick. But trading back from their second round pick, ended up providing a lot more picks as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that gave them the opportunity to, kind of spread around what their needs are. And if you go look at it, like heavy focus on the skill position players, but they still got an area. I think the only area they didn't get was linebacker. So
Yeah.
they still got a good variety of positions filled, but particularly they got the quarterback, they got young skill position players for him to develop with and see if some of those guys can really make a difference overall. Because especially too, as of right now, their starting receiving room is older, so getting younger in that area is huge. So I think the Titans did fine. I would give it an A. I mean, it helps you get the first overall pick, but I also think too strategically they did a good job.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of the Titans 2025 draft class. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you have done differently? Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.